So let's briefly talk about Haiti. Because of the revolution that happened in Haiti, all of these white governments, whether it was in Europe, in the United States, all of them were terrified that the Black people that they were oppressing would be inspired by the success of the revolution that was led by enslaved people in Haiti. It says here, the reference to another Black republic meant Haiti, whose revolution against France in 1803 had led to the first nation run by Blacks in the New World. The Spanish minister to the United States wrote to the United States Secretary of State, in this revolution, the Negro element has been the most important part. Not only the principal leaders are colored men, but at least 8/10 of their supporters. And the result of the war, if the island can be declared independent, will be a secession of the Black element and a Black republic. As Philip Foner says in his 2-volume study, The Spanish-Cuban-American War, the McKinley administration had plans for dealing with the Cuban situation, but these did not include independence for the island. The U.S. government gained support within America because it told Americans that they were going to be going to war with Spain. The construction is horrible, I'm sorry, but I gotta keep going. They convinced the American people that they wanted to go to war to help people fight for their independence. But on the inside, people knew, like on the inside in terms of government, they knew that their plan was not actually independence for the island. They just needed to say that in order to get people to go put their bodies on the line in order to fight for the concept of freedom and independence. Foner explains the rush of the McKinley administration into war. Its ultimatum gave Spain little time to negotiate by the fact that if the United States waited too long, the Cuban revolutionary forces would emerge victorious, replacing the collapsing Spanish regime. So basically, they did not want the revolutionaries to actually lead the government of their own country. They wanted to interfere and get in there before the revolutionaries could form their own future without the United States and their intervention. That's why they acted so quickly, because the last thing that they wanted was for Cuba to be free. And so I just want those of you who are Cuban, Cuban American, who are super, super patriotic to understand that the people that were really meant to lead Cuba, the people who fought for the independence of Cuba from Spain, were never given the chance to create the Cuban future. Everything that we know now, everything that we see now in Cuba, has been influenced by the United States. We have never seen a version of Cuba that has been able to express itself and develop organically with the leaders within the country, because the United States has always interfered. Whether it's been Cuba, whether it's been Puerto Rico, whether it's been Dominican Republic, it's something that we need to keep in mind, okay? Particularly for those of you who are Cuban and who have really, really leaned into that patriotic narrative that, as we know now, has been by design.